Alright, hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week 14 of the EFL Championship 25-26 season. It's for this midweek today and tomorrow, and but first let's see how good or terrible I did last week. And as mentioned before, I got just the one correct outcome last week, so that's 1 point, taking my season total up to 83. I had a stinker this week. And here is how the championship table looks after 13 matches. And without further ado, let's begin predicting this week's matches. Midweek. The first game up is a battle of two sides on form. It is Derby County against Hull City. And Hull have been impressive recently. They've been on great form. I'm just looking at the results here. Hull got a 2-0 victory against Norwich, that's right. Derby got a 3-1 win on the road against Sheffield United. In fact, both of them were on the road. With this being at Derby's ground, I could see Derby getting something here. Both sides are... I don't want to go against either side, so I'm going to sit on the fence with a 2-2 draw on this first match. I don't really want to go against either side here, so I'm going to sit on the fence with a draw on this one. I think both sides will be happy to and get a point to push up further up the table. Next up, we've got Bristol City against Blackburn Rovers. And this is a tricky one because Bristol City have been impressive this season, recently, but they did go and lose 5-1 against Stoke at the weekend. And Blackburn Rovers beat Leicester 2-0, and they're on good form at the minute as well. This is another game, I don't want to go against either side here. Bristol City are at home, but for me it depends on which side shows up. If Bristol City can push back from that humiliating defeat to Stoke last week or not. I'm going to sit on the fence with another 2-2 draw to begin this week's matches. I was tempted by 1-1, but both these sides do like to score goals at times, so I'm going for another Desmond. Another 2-2 draw. Next up, we've got Charlton Athletic against West Brom. And West Brom were on good form at the start of the season, pushing up towards the playoffs, but they've dropped to mid-table right now. I think they're 12th. Charlton are 8th. I think they drew last week. 1-1 to Swansea. That was at home. This game is also at home, but West Brom have been on a shaky run of form in recent times, and I just think Charlton have too much in the tank with Nathan Jones here to lose. And I like Charlton. I like Charlton for the clean sheet quite frequently this season, and I think they're going to get a couple goals. I'm going Charlton to win 2-0. West Brom are struggling for goals at the minute, and I can't see them scoring any goals here. They'll put the manager under pressure, but 2-0 Charlton. Next up, we've got Oxford against Stoke City, and this is an interesting one. Oxford rescued a draw against Millwall last week, 2-2. Which was annoying for me because I think I predicted Millwall to win 2-1. So that was 3 points of mine down the drain then and there. But Stoke, I didn't see that coming, but they beat Bristol City 5-1 at the Bet365 Stadium last week, at the weekend. With Oxford being the home side, it's tempting to give them something. But against the Stoke side, who are pressing, doing full-flowing football right now, I think Stoke will get the job done here. I'm going for Stoke to win 3-1 I'm going for some more goals. Oxford are above the drop zone, but they need to start getting results together more consistently. But against the pressing Stoke side, I don't see them getting anything. So 3-1 Stoke. Next up, we've got Ipswich Town against Watford. And this is an interesting one. Ipswich won 4-1 over the weekend. Watford beat Middlesbrough 3-0. That I didn't see coming either. This is tricky because Watford, since they've brought in their new manager, they've started to get the ball rolling, haven't they? They've started to get a good run of form. They're currently sitting 10th in the table. Ipswich are currently 9th. Ipswich have really got the ball rolling as well. Of course, as I say, being QPR 4-1, I think, at the weekend. And with them being back at home here, as impressive as Watford have been, and I feel like I will back them in future weeks to start winning some games, I do think I can just see one winner, and that's Kieran McKenna's Ipswich. I'm going Ipswich to win 2-1. I think Ipswich do have enough in the tank, and I think they will push further towards the playoffs here. So 2-1 Ipswich, and the track the boys get the 3 points. Next up, we've got Leicester City against Middlesbrough. And Middlesbrough's both these sides have kind of fallen off the edge a bit here. Middlesbrough with a 1-1 draw, I think, and then they got their second defeat of the season, 3-0 to Watford. Like I just said, Leicester obviously losing 2-0 to Blackburn, who coming into that match was slightly struggling in that drop zone. With this being at the King Power, I usually like to give Leicester something, but I think Middlesbrough do need to get back to winning ways if they want to keep that top 2 position in their grasp here. And what's interesting is, like, both these sides I tend to think of as quite low scoring, quite low margin, but I don't know. Both these sides can score goals on their day, and I think this could be one of those odd matches where they actually press and actually get goals. I'm going to back Middlesbrough, but I'm going to throw in a few goals. I'm going 3-2 to Middlesbrough here. I think Middlesbrough, Leicester have dropped into the bottom half. They're 14th, but I think Borough need the points a bit more desperately. So I'm going 3-2 Borough on this one. Next up, we've got Birmingham City against Millwall. And these are two sides that I can see finishing up there in and around the playoffs this season. But I think, Millwall are on the slightly better form at the minute, I think. They're currently 4th in the table. With this being at St Andrews, it's tempting to give Birmingham the win, but I can't go against Millwall, not with the form they're on at the minute. I'm not going for all 3 points, but I'm going for another share of the spoils. In this one, another 1-1 draw. I think both sides are going to be happy with a point. Millwall may be the happier, but I just can't separate the two. So 1-1 at the minute, based on their form. Next up, we've got Coventry City against Sheffield United. And Coventry, we've got to talk about them. Last week, they finally got their first defeat of the season, 3-2 against Wrexham. And Sheffield United losing 3-1 to Derby at home was not a good result for them. And they briefly got the ball rolling under Wilder when he came back in, replaced Ruben Selles back in September, but it hasn't really worked for them since, has it? And against the Coventry side at home, at the CBS, I can't go against Coventry, despite that loss and that slightly less impressive performance against Wrexham back at home. I think they'll get the 3 points. I'll give Sheffield United a goal, but Coventry win it 2-1 in my eyes. I think Frank Lampard and Cov back at home, they're still unbeaten at home this season, and I think that run will continue. 2-1 Cov. Next up, we've got 24th against 23rd. It's our bottom two. It's Sheffield Wednesday against Norwich City. And Sheffield Wednesday have gone into administration, although Chancery has finally given in, and finally Hillsborough looks like a bit less of a toxic place now. But at Norwich, things are not going right at all, performance-wise, and I think Liam Manning is on really the thin ice now in terms of his job. But I know quite a few people might be backing a Sheffield Wednesday win here on this one this weekend. I mean, all the players at Norwich, even Josh Sargent, isn't firing on all cylinders at the minute, but I think Norwich somehow have enough quality to snatch a draw here. It wouldn't surprise me if Sheffield Wednesday went a goal up or something, and Norwich found a goal somewhere to draw. So I'm going 1-1. I think I'm not sure if that will be enough to save Liam Manning for another week or so, but I do think a share of the spoils. Of course, I do think Sheffield Wednesday will ultimately go down this season, but I think they'll fight. Of course, they had that points deduction, 6 points. I hope to see them back in positive soon, but positive points. But I'm going 1-1, which won't be enough for them this week, but hopefully in the future it might be, with the positive atmosphere now. Talking of sackings, we've got QPR against Southampton. And the big news on I found out on Sunday is Will Still has been sacked as Saints boss. I don't know who we're going to bring in, but yeah, QPR look very. They're up and down. They're a very streaky team. They can pull out good results, a good run of form, and then suddenly changing on a bad run of form, and their progression up the table goes backwards. Southampton are 21st, we are nowhere right now, let's be honest. 1 point, probably a place above the drop zone in 21st, and I'm just hoping whoever we bring in can start getting the results over the line more consistently than Will Still did. Not sure if it's a no manager bounce here, but I am going to back Southampton to get the win. Our first win since, I can't remember when, a long time. And I'm going for Saints to win 2-1. QPR aren't on the best of form either at the minute, and I think Saints will get the no manager bounce over the line and win 2-1. So 3 points to the Saints to push up the table. Come on. Next up, we've got Preston North End against Swansea City. And Swansea with that 1-1 draw against Charlton over the weekend, and Preston with a win, I think. Did they win? Yeah, well, of course they did. They beat Southampton 2-0. That's tricky because, really, Swansea were on a good run of form. They've kind of tailed off now a bit this season. And Preston, they're on red-hot form right now under Paul Heckingbottom, and I can't go against Preston here. I don't think... It's tempting to go for a draw, but I'm going for a Preston win, and it's tempting to go cagey. I think both these sides don't score or concede many goals, but I'm going to back the trusted Preston 1-0. I think it could easily be 2. Like 1-0, 2-0 Preston, or maybe a 1-1 draw. I can all see playing out here, but I am backing Preston just a 1-0. But that's 3 more points to stay in the playoffs. And then our final game this week, midweek, is Portsmouth against Wrexham. Almost said Preston then. Portsmouth haven't been... things seem to be going a bit wrong there at the minute. I usually like them at home, but Wrexham are on fire right now. They're in red hot form. Of course, beating Coventry 3-2. That's the big news story today over the weekend. I for some reason can't see them going to Portsmouth and losing. And it is tempting to go for a draw, but I think I'll have to go for the Welsh side here. Wrexham have started to gel, they've started to push up the table, they're currently 15th now, they're mid-table. Portsmouth are 20th, one place above Southampton in the table. I am going to back Wrexham to win 2-1 to push even further up the table. I don't know where that puts them in comparison to the playoff race, maybe 12th or something, but I am going for Wrexham to win 2-1. I just can't back against them here. And there you have it, guys, all 12 Championship matches predicted for another week. Make sure to get your predictions in the comments down below, and we'll see how well I do this week. Hopefully I'll get more than one correct, but I'll see you all in the next one.